Hey guys, we're here today in Central Texas, what's known as the Texas Hill Country, the deer capital of Texas, more specifically Llano County. It has the highest population, the highest density of whitetail deer of anywhere in North America. The deer aren't the largest in the world, but they are the most numerous. They're very, very small. A big adult buck will weigh about 125, 135 pounds field dress, which would put him about 145 pounds on the cob, if you would. The hill country, you can see the terrain behind me. It's characterized as very rocky, very shallow soil, actually poor soils, a lot of cedar trees, and you see the terrain behind me, rolling terrain, a lot of rock, and the forage, the browse plants are not that high quality. Historically, this has been sheep and goat country, cattle country, and just more recently, wildlife management country. You see the tall grass where we're standing here on this hill. It's really hard to manage the habitat in the hill country by large because you can't use a lot of mechanical means, bulldozers and excavators and heavy equipment. The topsoil is so shallow and the ground is so rocky and the terrain is so dangerous, it's just really hard to get in there and physically manage the habitat like you can or like you would in, say, South Texas, Mexico, Kansas, Colorado, that kind of stuff. Just totally different terrain. So it creates its own challenges. So the habitat management is usually by chemical, by aerial spraying, by hand cutting of cedar, hand spraying of mesquite, weesach, agarita, that kind of stuff. But the real management comes in with the rifle. And because we have so many deer here in Central Texas and the hill country, the most effective way to manage your herd is with the bullet. Bullet's the cheapest part of the equation. So I spend a lot of time surveying and managing deer herds in Central Texas, but ultimately it comes down to the hunter and the knowing how to pull the trigger, playing shooter weight on this site, knowing which deer to harvest. So it's selective harvest, but very aggressive selective harvest to keep the population in control with this marginal to decent habitat that we have with us. It's beautiful, that's for sure, and it's really pretty when it rains in the springtime. There's flowers here and bluebonnets like you've never seen before. But we're standing here in September, we're in the middle of a drought, times are getting pretty hard, but deer season's on the horizon, and so bring a lot of bullets to the Texas Hill Country this year and help us manage the Texas deer herd. For Whitetail Domains, I'm Macy Ledbetter.